All right. After having a slight misfire with it not connecting to the actual show on YouTube and having the memory full, we are live. And I have some special guests joining me tonight since Brian is not here. And it's not bringing them in either. So everything's going swimmingly. Let's grab them. All right, there we go. So we've got Superior Nav is joining us to help co-host, and Smokey MZ joining us. How are you guys tonight?
All right, you know.
You watched the end of that game?
No, I saw bits and pieces, but I'm still laughing at the way Toronto media was really treating the Leafs the prior game when they got shellacked, and now they're kissing their ass again when they won again over Florida.
Yeah. We got a Game 7 tomorrow night, I believe.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
And no Game 7 in the Dallas series.
No, there isn't.
It is over, Dallas. Won in overtime, putting Winnipeg out. Hellebucking again in the playoffs. At least he made it past the first round this year.
Yeah.
Me and Smokey had fun last year with Hellebuck. Right, Smokey?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Smokey's also an Avs fan.
After that first game where he just shut us down, yeah, he just couldn't save a goal for a life.
Yeah, broke the record for most consecutive six plus goal games in the playoffs, and it was or 6 goal games, something like that.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was great though.
Yeah, and then Dallas. So
Dallas is such an odd team. It's like the game before they got shellacked 4-0. And then this game was 1-1 for like the longest time. Jesus.
All the way until overtime and almost a full power play in.
Yeah. And what about that Granlund hat trick, eh? Fuck.
Which game was that? Game.
The one before they got killed. So
Game 4.
Yeah. He got like the only 3 goals, I think, for the team.
Yeah. Well, and Rantanen suddenly came on in this series, so they've got to be happy with that. But
Rantanen's laughing a little.
Probably.
Yeah.
But we'll see how long he can keep that hot, because he hasn't done anything in the past couple of games that I can think of. But we'll show a few clips from that game real quick, since it just wrapped up. So we will start with... How about we start with Scheifele scoring? Just in case the chat does not know, Scheifele's dad died in the middle of the night last night. So it was a question mark of whether he was going to play at all. And he did choose to play. He actually got Winnipeg on the board first with the opening goal of the game. So we'll bring that one up real quick, and then we'll tell how the rest of the night went for Scheifele. We're doing it a little bit different tonight, so we're using a different layout. All right, so here is the opening goal to the game. Came in the second period.
Firing towards the net, rebound, scores! Scheifele! Playing with the heaviest of hearts, scores the road.
And that didn't transition. Let's try that again.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see it.
There it goes.
Liam Bishop firing towards
It's the fun of running it by yourself.
Shifley playing with the heaviest of hearts scores the road
He
opening
sniped
goal.
that pretty good.
Yep. So from going from his father dying to the high of scoring the opening goal in this game, we've got a few other clips, but this is how Shifley's night kind of fell apart at the end. This was at the end of regulation. Shifley gets the only penalty in the game.
But nonetheless, there hasn't been a call all game.
And that goal, or that penalty, was right at the end of the third period, but did lead to the power play that ended up being the goal-scoring power play that ended the game. I wanted to get you guys' opinion on this. I think it was close that it could have been an actual penalty shot, but
This would have been quite the game. Yeah, that's a tough call. I can see why they're upset.
Yeah, that
but
looked like a
nonetheless,
breakaway.
There hasn't been a call all game.
yeah, that first penalty called in the game, I think where the time was in the game, and I mean, he had probably a stride and a half on him, but probably not two full strides. But I don't think you call a penalty shot with 20, 30
No,
seconds
it was-
left in the game, in an elimination game. So I was fine with it being just a penalty.
Plus, it was a bit too far-ish. I mean, he's still at kind of the blue line too. So, I mean,
Yeah, he hadn't entered the zone yet.
Yeah, I don't know how far he has to. I forget how far he has to be or to be considered.
Well, the announcers and the intermission report guys kind of seem to agree it definitely could have been a penalty shot, but probably smart not to call it. So, well, I mean, they called the penalty, so you're giving them the advantage either way. But that led to the goal from Harley.
Played to the corner by Pionk. Circling that second to Harley.
Just an absolute rocket. And that is Dallas winning the game and the series. So
Yeah, I mean, plays like those are just so heartbreaking, you know.
yeah, especially when it's, you know, you have a penalty against you that leads to it, that
Yeah,
you know you're gonna feel that one for the rest of the summer. So
yeah, so many salt in the wounds, you know.
yep. We got one other clip to watch from this series. It actually happened earlier in the week. This will piss 70s off that I'm bringing it up, but it has to be shown. This was Jamie Benn deciding that he should throw a straight left at Shifley. I believe that ended up in a fine.
Linesman took the brunt of this, but he did not. Oh boy, that was a stiff left.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard shot in a scrum.
And Shifley's not a big guy, you know.
Right there. That's where the linesman was.
And he wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
Still got his gloves on.
Took the brunt of this, but he did not. Oh boy, that was a
What's that?
stiff left.
And Ben still had his gloves on.
Yep.
Yeah, so that probably hurt like fuck, man.
Little bit of rash or burn on your face from that one, maybe. So
No, for sure.
So that is the Dallas series kind of wrapped up. We've got Dallas moving on to the Western Conference Finals. Well, actually, we'll just go ahead and take a look at the standings. And we'll look at the standings that we can look at because I don't have access to our brackets. So we're going to just go with, yeah, I didn't get into the bracket challenge. It left me out of it. So I don't have a login to get to it. So we're just going to look at the actual playoff standings and where everybody's at. So we've got one series still going. But currently in round 2, Dallas is taking it 4-2. So Dallas in 6. Edmonton pretty much just destroyed Vegas. Vegas was with and without Stone for a good portion of the series. Carolina, I don't think. What's that?
It was just like a factoid. I mean, they're making it their priority to re-sign Eichel again, so Vegas is trying to move some mountains for him.
Yeah. We'll see what they can get done. The other one that is finished up, Carolina at Washington. WG will be happy about that. Kind of saw that one coming. That Washington didn't put up a whole lot of a fight there. And then the series where nobody seems to want to actually play in any given game, Toronto and Florida, where nobody shoots, one team shows up for one game, the other team shows up for the next game, and I'm not sure whose turn it is tomorrow, but
and then
I'm fine with another Toronto team, or the Toronto team going out just to piss off Mike.
Yeah. I'd rather have the Toronto team kicked out, but or Tanev being the only defenseman playing in that whole series. Man, that guy's a beating.
Yeah, he's been actually doing his job, but it's amazing to me. Even in the game tonight, you had to get to overtime to get about 23, 24 shots registered. Like nobody is shooting in these both of those series. In Dallas, Winnipeg, I mean, I think Dallas had 6 shots through the first period and a half. For the first 12 minutes of the second period, Dallas didn't have a shot registered. It was 9-0 in shots for Winnipeg in the second period. It's just been kind of crazy. But yeah, you don't know which teams are going to show up for Toronto and Florida.
That's true.
Because both teams have kind of flip-flopped the whole time. And I would think that Florida, if Toronto doesn't show up, I think Florida Bob will definitely take them down. But
yeah,
I mean, Austin Matthews finally showed up in Game 4 or Game 6. I mean, so
both Marner and Matthews sort of showed up.
They started actually taking shots.
Yeah.
Smokey, you got any take on any of these series? Did you watch any of them?
No, after Avs got knocked down, I'm like, well, I'm done for the season. But
yeah,
as long as Bob shows up, they have a good chance of knocking out Toronto.
Yeah. Walls actually played pretty good as the backup, so we'll...
Yeah, Wall's proving that he's an elite goalie, so, I mean, his future's pretty bright, whether, in the future he stays in Toronto or not.
Yeah, which they're going to have to do some shuffling there, too. Especially if they go out in this series, Toronto is going to have to make some decisions on personnel because Marner is going to demand a ton of money, and I believe he's up this summer, and they're just not getting it done. So at some point, management has to look at it and say, if they don't win this series, technically for them, it should be cup or nothing before you decide whether you blow up this team or not, because they haven't gotten it done for years and years now.
Yeah, either way. So if they're going to re-sign Marner or give him the money, they'll have to win the cup. Otherwise, I think he's gone. He's gone if they don't get that cup.
You think he bolts, or you think they send him?
I
just don't do anything.
Ooh. I don't think they really do anything. I think he shops himself around, to be honest, because they tried to get him. Like, to be honest, Toronto, if they were smart, they would have got him got him while he was still, kind of under contract and trade him for assets,
Yeah, now I believe he's unrestricted this summer. So
yeah, he's UFA. So
so they're not going to get anything in return for him because they can't trade him.
No.
But will they even make a realistic offer to him, or do they let him just walk? I guess is the question. If they don't, well, DeCarlo is saying reports are Marner is gone for sure unless they win the cup. So yeah, that's kind of what we're saying is they need to not only get through this series but get all the way through and win the cup. And
yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, because it's been 9 years or something now. So
I didn't see them getting through Florida. We have yet to see if they do, but I don't see them getting past Carolina. Carolina's been just a beast through the playoffs so far.
Yeah, and Carolina can really lock it down too. But mind you, if the Leafs play Carolina, that'll be a pretty fast-ish series because Carolina's not overly physical though, right? Like the Leafs. So
No, but they do play. They put a lot of shots on goal, try to get the lead, and then they sit back on a lead. Is kind of what I've seen from them this season. So it won't necessarily be physical, but it'll most likely be somewhat boring. Maybe. I mean, that's kind of the Carolina MO is they're not the funnest team to watch. So, but I'll probably be placing some bets on shots on goal because Carolina likes to rip them. So Toronto in this series, not so much. So, I mean, their big boys have not shown up in the shots column at all. So we'll see.
The big boys never show up during playoffs.
Depends on which big boys you're talking about because McKinnon and McCarr showed up.
No, I mean for the Leafs.
You mean for them? Yeah, for them, definitely not. They never show up. Yeah. But for the other portion of the show, I guess we should probably do this. Tonight, I'm having a touch of Buffalo Trace. I don't know if you guys are having anything, but I'll probably have some Buffalo Trace followed by a bit of my Saz. So,
I'm currently having a ginger ale flavored mango peach, actually. So
nice. Smokey, you having anything tonight?
I've just got a nice cold can of vanilla Coke sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I figured as much.
Yeah, I don't drink much.
Yeah, I've picked that up over the years.
I mean, I do have alcohol, but they just sit there collecting dust.
Yeah. Mine don't, well, there's a few that sit long enough to collect dust, but not many. So, next subject, I guess we'll go on to some of the moves made in the league this season, or well, not this season, this week. We had Rick Tocchet is the new head coach in Philly after he is out at Vancouver. Funny because in the picture of Tocchet, you've got Adam Foote in the background, who Tocchet coached in Colorado and then brought him over to be an assistant coach. The next move made was Adam Foote is now the new head coach in Vancouver. And you can see Tocchet in the background there. So Adam Foote moves up, Tocchet moves out to Philly, replacing Torts. And then the last move we've got is Ken Holland is the new GM in LA, replacing yet another Avs connection, Blake. So I think Adam Foote getting a chance as a coach will be a good move for Vancouver. I mean, they're in such disarray right now that having kind of a rookie head coach might just be what they need to kind of turn things around. But this year was weird for them. So
may not be enough to keep Hughes though. That's the only issue.
I don't think it will be either way.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be going into a pretty on-the-fly rebuild with a pretty untested coach and see how it goes. At least at that point, they can blame it on the coach rather than the players and try to keep some people together, but I don't think Hughes will stick around.
Yeah, but you can only blame it on the coach for so long before you go, maybe, the product on the ice isn't just that good,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But I mean, we'll see what Tocchet can do with Philly because Philly was also in complete disarray this season. That's so we'll see if it's a players thing or a coach thing with both of the teams. I think Darren's coming in to save us here with the numbers from the pool. So Smokey is still actually leading with 132 points. Lone Stars at 91. 70s is at 84. Mikey D is at 81. Fun with Collecting at 72. Southern Belle at 69. Kanga is at 60. The Bourbon and Boarding Chat is at 66. Dr. Jones 56. And Damasher is at 33. So Smokey's still leading, even though none of his teams are alive for the finals, right?
Still got one team going.
Did you have Florida or the Canes?
Florida. Oh, no, Canes.
Florida.
Oh,
Canes.
okay.
Canes.
Yeah.
But then you had Colorado winning it all, right? So
Yeah. But I'm always going to pick that, even if they do suck.
yeah, I'm still stinging from that one because I think Colorado would have absolutely demolished Winnipeg. I know Dallas just smacked them down pretty good, but I don't think it would have gotten anywhere near a Game 7. I think it would have been a 5-game series.
Man, the Avs were the favorite this year too. It's crazy.
Once the playoffs started, you mean? Because at the
I
beginning
think
of the
before,
season,
I think
we
during
had nothing going.
Yeah, but I think towards the end of the season, they just started to kind of see them as the team that was going to go far.
After the trade deadline, they had a much better outlook than they did before the trade deadline. And after the goalie trade, they had a much better outlook than the rest of the season was because, man, Georgiev sucks. So,
Wow.
but yeah, interesting news with the coach hirings. We'll see. I think Quinville is supposed to land with the Ducks.
Oh yeah,
Is that what we heard?
he is with the Ducks. No, he is with the Ducks.
Did he land with them already? Okay.
I believe so. Yes.
I didn't see a confirmation on him ending there.
Yeah,
so.
it happened last week. Actually, I think it happened even before the stream you guys had. I believe.
I was hearing rumors, but I hadn't seen anything that said he has signed. So, or maybe I did, and I'm just forgetting. We may have even mentioned it last week, but.
And I see it on their page. He's had a press conference already.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
we
then
have a
maybe
super
I'm
chat.
just staying too busy watching all these games that I don't care about anymore. WG for $10 just returned from the beer league hockey. Congrats to the Stars. Now go spoil the Oilers season. Yeah, I would. As much as I know Brian will be happy if the Stars continue, I'm not real happy with the Stars right now, but I still can't cheer for Edmonton no matter what. So I guess I'm pulling for the Stars. At least through that series. So
That hurts for you to say, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. Especially with Rantanen and Duchesne there. I mean, for an Avs fan, there is no win between Edmonton and Dallas. You either get the overrated McDavid or you get your former team or your former players playing on the enemy team winning. So
Actually, I want your opinion. Why do you think he's overrated? I just want to know because I think that too.
I think he's a great player and he may be the best player on the planet, but he doesn't have to be in every single conversation and every single, everything is about McDavid all the time. So it's just.
You mean the coverage wise?
Yeah, coverage wise, it's kind of like, when Bedard is playing, it's like everything is about Bedard. I mean, even when McDavid or Bedard's not doing anything, the coverage is still 100% about them.
Yeah.
And I don't dislike him as a guy. Don't necessarily dislike him as a player. I dislike the way the league tries to force certain players on you constantly.
Well, they did that with Crosby too. I mean,
they did, and they still are. They're even doing it in the championships right now.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen has been like Crosby and Celebrini, hanging out together and how cute it is. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
When we all know Crosby's going to end up. Yeah, when we all know Crosby's going to end up in Avalanche here in the next couple of years. So.
Hopeful thinking, eh?
I think him and McKinnon would like to play together. I don't know if it'll ever actually happen.
For sure. They wanted to play together for a while. Those two. They trained together.
They've trained together since before McKinnon was in the league. So
yeah.
And they're from the same city, same upbringing type stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, they've played on the Four Nations, and they've played just a couple nights ago, and I think they played tonight again. But I mean, that's not being on the same NHL team. That's not going for a cup together. It's going for a crazy Four Nations thing that was actually very entertaining, but
Surprisingly,
it's not the same as the Stanley Cup.
No.
I was surprised at how entertaining that Four Nations was.
At least, what, 3/4 of the games? And pretty much anything with the USA and Canada in it was entertaining. The Finland and Sweden teams were just not up to par with the North American teams. Although they had some good players and they had some good moments.
Yeah, the Scandinavian teams have kind of sort of dropped off in some ways. They're better in the juniors than they are in the pros right now, to be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mike, I agree. This was the year Crosby should have went to the Avs if he was going to. I think he'll probably retire with his current team.
Yeah, he doesn't want to retire, but he doesn't want to go anywhere else. He wants to stay a Penguin his whole life. He wants to do the Mario Lemieux thing,
Yeah, flounder in the league with a team that's not that great right now. And doesn't look to be that great anytime soon.
It doesn't look to give away their big three there at any point,
Yep. We also had the draft lottery, didn't we?
Yes.
Or did we only have the NBA? I think we had the NHL draft lottery.
No, I think we had the NHL draft lottery. I think you are correct, sir.
And who ended up getting it? I know I knew who got it, but it's slipping my mind at the moment.
Man, it was like some random team. I'm like, really? I was like, oh, man. Maybe.
Islanders. It was the Islanders.
Yeah.
And they had a ridiculously low chance of getting it. It was only like, what, a 10% chance or something like that?
Yeah, because they were somewhat close.
What's
What's that?
3.5.
3.5% chance? Yeah. So, interesting. Wasn't expecting that. I think we were all expecting, San Jose or Chicago to load up yet another first-round draft pick.
Chicago's going to take Marner. They're just getting ready. Come on now.
There's a good possibility of that. So that's kind of what's been going on around the NHL this week. We've had a few series closeouts. We're still one more day in the second round. Next week, we will be covering the third round. So why don't we take a look at some plays from the week? And as we kind of had said, last week, and as it happened last year, as we have less and less games, the show is going to get shorter and shorter on Saturday nights. So there's only so much to talk about, and we can't play a full clip show of an hour and 15 minutes of clips because we already get in trouble for what we do. So so let's react to a few of these. We'll start with the championships, take a few looks at a couple different goals from the championships, starting with... We've got a pretty nice McKinnon goal, and then we've got a Celebrini to Crosby, as we were talking about, a goal from them coming up right after it. So we'll set this up real quick, get it added. McKinnon doing McKinnon things. He's number 9 for Canada. There's just nobody around him. He just pops out of a group of players and is like, I've got the puck. Ha. Look at everybody's faces.
McKinnon's got his 6th to tie for the tournament point goalie.
It doesn't seem like really anyone's playing in general. Like, I was watching the Latvian game and all that stuff. It just... Ugh.
Well, they're playing by international rules, right? Not like what we did in the Four Nations where it was NHL rules.
Yeah, no, I know, but everyone just seems like they're standing around a whole bunch, like in every game.
Yeah.
Usually it's a little faster, right? European hockey.
That was so easy though. I mean, that was crazy. And then this one, Celebrini does a no look to Crosby. There, he's got it. Not looking. Crosby buries it from a sharp angle. This one doesn't have any sound, but
It was a lucky rebound.
lucky rebound, but actually pretty nice play too.
Oh, yeah.
So we got those. What else do we have? This was Washington got eliminated earlier in the week, but they almost had the lead at one point in Game 5, I believe it was, to keep it going.
Oh man, it's offside.
Just
It is offside.
slightly offsides by a half second.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right here.
They went on to score, but it did come off after the review. So obvious offsides, but heartbreaker for Washington, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah.
We've got, so last week we talked about the 0.8 seconds left in the game goal from the Knights? And we were talking about when Kadri did it with 0.01 seconds left on the, 0.1 second left on the clock. So I went back and I found that clip. So we'll throw that one up there just to remind everybody. Bubble hockey, and of course, this was against Bennington, so it makes it even better. I don't know if they show the iconic view of it from behind the goal, like the goal camera, where Kadri is like on his knee. There's 0.03 seconds, or 0.3 seconds, or however much time it is, when it comes off of a stick and it gets in 0.1 second.
The puck hits the post. There, and then there. Kadri, who had a great chance right before that.
Ding.
Couldn't believe he missed it. He's got an empty net with time expiring.
Iconic. There it is. Oh, I need to put it back up real quick, because there's the view from inside the goal.
Does this puck cross the goal line?
So, of course, we're going to play at least an Avs clip. So, went back and found that one.
So weird seeing them with the black helmets and pants there. I'm not used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's even weirder watching the bubble still. I mean, just having nobody in the stands watching a game, but they still pipe in the volume like there were actually people all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It was a crazy time, man. Jeez, so unnecessary. But
Yeah, that season pissed me off too. The Avs were looking so good going into the end of the season, and then the cut short, and then we go into the bubble. It was rather insane. So, we've got an interesting one of the dirtier plays I've seen this year. This is Mikkola intentionally opens the door as Nylanders going up the wall. Some would say clear intent to injure.
I didn't see that one.
It's up. Step it out.
But yeah, that's not that cool. Open the door right as the guy's going into the wall.
oh yeah,
It's a good way to injure somebody.
Yeah, they were talking about that actually. Here, about that. They were talking to like a goalie that was a backup, and then he's like, "I don't know, man. My job was just to keep the door closed, and that's what I did the whole time." A former goalie.
Yeah, well, we showed one about a month ago where somebody did the same thing. I think it was the backup goalie actually opened the goal or opened the door in the same type of play. But here's a funny one. So for the Canes, Alexander Nikishin, not sure how it's actually pronounced, is made his debut in the playoffs. And one of the first things he does on his very first shift is this. He just yoinks the stick of guess who? Alexander Ovechkin.
Of course he does.
Rookie decides he's just going to steal Ovechkin's stick on his very first shift as a NHL player. That takes a bit of balls.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or maybe he just really wanted a stick of his.
Yeah, take it over to your bench and ask them to hide it so that you can have a souvenir.
Yeah, no kidding.
What else did we have? Oh, Hurdle for Vegas. Moron. Yeah, moron. I don't know if you guys saw this one. He was a little bit upset, so he decides he's going to try to break his stick after getting back to the bench. It ends up hitting one of the guys in the background directly across the head with the whole blade of the stick.
Jeez.
Trainer's going down the hall because Hurdle decided to throw a fit on the bench. And he couldn't even break the stick.
Failed on many levels there.
Yeah. You got to love having to go back to get stitches because one of the players for your team that you're supposed to help take care of decides to smash you in the head with their stick.
No kidding. Gives you a concussion of your own.
Yeah. We've got some goalie stuff, but we'll do those right at the end of all the clips because there's a few different great saves. What else do we have? Oh, yes. We've got one pretty good scrum at the end of the game after Domi decides to absolutely crush Barkov, and then all hell breaks loose at the end of the game. There was no time left on the clock, but yeah, it went a bit crazy.
Yeah, it got crazy.
I was actually a little bit surprised that the scrum starts with like 8 seconds left. If you watch here.
Yeah.
And nobody blows a whistle. I mean, you'd think that Toronto would have been pretty pissed off that they just let the clock play out while the refs are actually separating players.
Well, I think Toronto was just glad to have that win.
There's 6 seconds left. The refs are already running in. The clock's still running.
Yeah.
And there was a penalty called.
Yes, there was actually.
But I don't remember seeing them do another puck drop. I don't remember them putting time back on the clock. They may have. I mean,
no, I think they didn't because I remember the coverage just cutting out after that.
That's what I thought. They were just like, okay, that's the end of the game. It's like, how do you call a penalty? Have a full scrum with 6 seconds left on the clock. I realize it's 6 seconds and they're down two goals, and they were taking the penalty. But you would think the scrum would not be enough to just end the game without putting the time back on the clock.
Yeah, you would think so. I think the Leafs didn't really care. They're like, oh, we won. It's okay. Let it run down.
No, Florida won. Yeah, the Panthers were up 2-0.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Yeah, and Domi hit Barkov, so it was going to be a power play for Florida. So, I mean, they may not have wanted to do anything else, but they may have decided to keep tempers down by just saying, okay, well, we all heard the buzzer. So, Darren M doing the good work out there. Hit that like button and share the stream out. Thank you, Darren. And what else did we have? We've got that one. So yeah, we've got a couple big saves. So Logan Thompson with a absolutely ridiculous save. I don't even remember which game this was, but
Back to his feet. Watch the stick.
all the way
Thompson.
across.
Desperation. Wow.
But just barely gets it with the stick just to keep it out.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
give
I
up
remember
on a
seeing
play. Stan Coleman
On,
not able to settle it down.
On that fourth liner or third liner, too, that short guy.
It was Stankoven that was shooting it, I believe.
Stankoven, that's what it is. Yep.
Yeah, former Dallas
Watch the
Star.
stick for Thompson. Desperation.
Well, he's
Wow.
pretty useful for Carolina, it looks
Incredible.
like.
Yeah, that's why you don't give up on
Hey, he's
a
not
play.
doing too bad.
Stan Coleman not able to
not
settle
bad at
it
all.
down.
So we had that one, and then 70s will be happy. We had an Ottinger save, actually from tonight's game. I forgot that I had this one, didn't show it, but I don't know.
Play here. Dives across and gets a piece of that one.
I don't know how he got that one.
Here in the third.
But there were so many wide open nets tonight for both teams that, I mean, the goalie had no chance, and the players just missed a shot altogether. It was a pretty sloppy game for open net shots. So, Ottinger,
goalies are getting bold, you know?
yeah, well, they come out of the net a lot more, cutting down the angles and stuff. But then when you do that and they get the pass across, that net is wide open right there.
Oh, yeah. It's like 90s hockey when the goalies used to come out pretty far at some points.
Well, when they used to play the puck, you know, when they would leave the crease altogether to just go hang out in the back before the trapezoid was in there. I miss that. I think they should get rid of the trapezoid.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was more to protect the goalies, I believe, but, you know, who knows?
Or more to
If
protect
they
the
leave
players
the
from
paint-
hitting the goalies. What's
If they
that?
leave the paint, it should be open season.
Yeah, but I still think they should be able to play the puck if they leave the paint. You know, maybe protect them in the trapezoid, but allow them to play it outside of the trapezoid. But then it's open season on the goalie. Because I remember watching tons of goalies playing the puck and actually being a part of the offense back in the day. A lot of goalies would be getting,
his name was Patrick Waugh.
Well, Patrick Waugh, there were quite a few. Brodeur did it quite a bit. I don't remember if Hasek played the puck much.
No, Hasek didn't play the puck that much.
But Thompson, I think, did. There were quite a few. Or Thomas, yeah. There were quite a few that did, and they were getting assists on goals because of the stretch pass from the goalie, because, you know, nobody's expecting the goalie to be making stretch passes halfway down the ice. So I missed that.
Well, back then they allowed the players to be more creative, you know. So
yeah,
that era was.
There was also the weird time where there was the 2-line pass rule.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm glad they got rid of that one. At least a stretch pass can happen. So
yeah, they got rid of that almost. Yeah, fuck. I remember when they got rid of that too.
Which I think was actually a good call.
Yeah. Added more speed to the game too.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get more offense. You would think if they want more offense, you would allow the goalie to start playing the puck again. Because that's what the league, I mean, that's what Bettman keeps saying that he wants, is we want more offense. We want more offense. They've taken the pad size down on the goalies. Why not let them play the puck like you used to and don't have the 2-line pass rule? And, I mean, you still got the offsides rule, so that should handle it. Well, the offsides and the icing rule, so that should handle that stuff. But I don't see a reason not to let him play it.
Yeah, there'll be more highlights for them to choose from as well.
Yeah, I think it's more to keep the injuries away. I mean, if goalie gets injured in like let's say a series, right? Then the team's kind of fucked. So yeah,
but let that be the coaches and the goalie's decision whether they want him going out of the net to play the puck or not.
Oh, of course. But then coaches and trainers are just going to say play it safe, right? All the time.
They'll give certain guys green lights and certain guys won't have green lights because they practice every day. They know whether the guy can play, has any ability to play the puck or not. But you'd have a lot more of the crazy stuff where the puck gets misplayed and goes directly to the wrong team and goes into the goal too. So there's your offense being, pumped up a little bit.
Or going off the stanchion awkwardly,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what is you guys' prediction for Dallas and Edmonton, since we've got that one set?
Ooh, good question. I say Dallas in 6. That's what I'm saying.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you think, Smokey?
I think. Yeah, kind of agree on that. As long as they put a stop to McDavid and Draisaitl.
Because who has the better decor? It would be Dallas, right?
Probably. I mean, Dallas technically has the better D and the better, with Heiskanen back especially, and the better goalie, hypothetically. But Skinner has been hot since coming back. He went almost 2 full games without a goal, didn't he? Or was it 2 straight shutouts? No, it was 2. It was almost 2 full games. 1 full shutout, and then 1 where it was like he only allowed the 1 goal, I think, and that was at the end of the game.
Yeah, they were mentioning how it's mimicking last year. His run last year. He was pulled at one point, and then when he got back in, he was a complete monster, and they went right to the finals, right?
Yeah, so that's why I think Edmonton might have a chance there, especially if Dallas just continues to not shoot the puck.
That's true. If they play around with
the weird thing is, when they do shoot the puck, they're not getting it on goal, and there was a stat about halfway through the game tonight where Dallas had actually outshot attempted Winnipeg by like 30-14. But only 7 of them were blocked and only 8 of them were saved. So that's 15 shots that just weren't on goal. They weren't blocked. They weren't saved. They just would never have been on goal. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they just need to dial in where they're actually shooting at. But I think I think in the playoffs, you got to be peppering the goalie. And none of these teams seem to be interested in doing it. It's weird.
Yeah, you would think, right? Pepper him more, exhaust the goalie out, make him move a lot more, and then wear him down. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. They're not doing like Joseph Wall being a backup goalie, or at least a rookie. I mean, teams back in the day would just pepper him, keep peppering him, and then just
just keep testing him until you figure something out on him. But I mean, the shot totals are so far down in a lot of these games. It's crazy. And the only reason I know is because I've been betting on shots on goal and nobody's taking any freaking shots or they're not registering as shots because they're not putting them on goal.
Yeah, you're not getting any points on them.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we'll see. I mean, I think the only team that's still left that actually, is taking any real amount of shots is Carolina.
Yeah. And on goal.
Right. Registering them as actual shots.
Does your thing record saves as well?
I mean, you can. It is a bet you can make is goalie saves.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if people aren't really shooting at the goal, no one's really making points on the saves either.
Every time you bet an under on goalie saves, it's guaranteed to go over. Every time you bet over, it's guaranteed to go under. Suddenly, I mean, you bet it crosswise where you're betting on a whole bunch of players from, say, Winnipeg to have 3 or 4 shots each, and then you bet on Ottinger having the over on saves, and then nobody shoots, and he doesn't get the over because there weren't any shots on him. So, kind of crazy. But what else did you guys want to cover? I think we're going to save the quarter century team until next week. We could do a preview of one of them if we want to, and get us last 10 minutes to get to an hour. But
I was just going to mention about Quenneville there. They were talking about how how the Ducks organization pestered him about his rehabilitation and about the Beach situation and such, and how he actually talked to Beach again and all that stuff, and Beach was fine with him getting a job again or something along that line. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that one was a weird one. I mean, there's no way Quenneville probably didn't know what was going on, but at the same time, is it his job? He's the head coach, not the manager, not the team president. His job is to coach them during practice and during games.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what goes behind, behind closed doors, but I mean, I'm sure he knew to a certain extent. I mean, a lot of people usually do. If even in the normal workplace, right? You hear a lot of rumors, but I mean, I don't know. It kind of ripped that whole team apart too. That scandal.
Yeah.
But then kind of the Ducks saying, "Oh, we really grilled him for it," so so we're making sure that he's really rehabilitated. I'm like, okay, man, like it's cool if you want to hire him. I understand.
He also
people are a
coached
little
for
worried
20
because of
years
Babcock.
before any of this happened. I mean, Quenneville's been around forever.
Yeah, but I guess they were just worried there wouldn't be another Babcock situation, right?
Yeah.
Mind you, Babcock checking a phone and a player getting whatever done to him is two different things.
Yeah. Well, let's do one portion of the quarter century team. We will do the goalies, because then we can leave all the position players for next week when Brian's back. But NHL has been doing, it's a fan voted thing where they're going to basically have the top 25 of the quarter century team, and the 6 for the goalies are: first, Martin Brodeur of the New Jersey Devils. Regular season stats: 470 wins, 283 losses, 49 overtime wins, and 44 ties. So he played during the period where we still had ties. He had 18 shutouts in the postseason, 87 in 851 starts in the regular season. I think everybody would agree that Brodeur, obviously one of the best goalies in history.
Yeah, Brodeur's pretty much a shoe for that.
So second goalie on the list, Marc-Andre Fleury, the Flower, who is still playing right now in the championships, but has officially retired from the NHL as of last week. 567 wins, 333 losses, 95. Well, he had 2 ties too, so he was probably just in that last season of the ties, or just didn't have that many ties. But 75 shutouts in 1,005 starts. 16 shutouts and 166 starts in the playoffs. That's pretty good, and an overall pretty good winning record in the postseason, along with a 911 save percentage. Won the Cup 3 times with the Penguins. Got the Vezina once. I'd say that's pretty fitting as well. Second in all-time wins, leads goalies in wins and playoff wins, and he's the he broke the record for most seasons that he played in the postseason by getting into a game this year during the postseason.
Yeah, he did. He's like the number 1 guy now.
Yep.
I mean, he has the accolades and everything to kind of support his.
And everybody just loves the guy.
Yeah, nobody really hates him, so.
And he's probably the league's biggest prankster.
Yeah, they always bring that up.
Yep. Next, we had Henrik Lundqvist, now TV announcer, but 459 wins, 310 losses, no ties, 64 shutouts, and 871 starts. So similar starts to Brodeur. Fleury had a lot more starts, almost 100, 130, 140 more starts than both of those guys. 10 shutouts in 130 games in the postseason, and a losing record in the postseason, but a 921 save percentage. Did win the Vezina.
Yeah, I don't know. Lundqvist I was always indifferent with. I didn't really find him amazing, but I didn't find him terrible either. But I mean, it could have just been the teams he was playing on for the most part. But I mean, he did make it to the finals and couldn't really do it. So
Yeah, I always thought Lundqvist was a pretty good goalie.
yeah,
He was definitely a guy. He was a good backstop.
Yeah.
He does rank 6th all time in NHL history in wins. So that'll get you there, even if you didn't get the cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I imagine we'll see Hellebuck at some point on a list like this, and if Hellebuck doesn't start winning in the playoffs, he'll be, the best regular season goalie to never win the cup.
Yeah,
if he continues on the tear that he's on. So
yeah, he'll be the next Lundqvist essentially.
Yep. And then we got Roberto Luongo, who played for both the Florida Panthers and the Canucks. Regular season, 486 wins, 387 losses, 32 ties. That is a crap ton of ties. 919 save percentage, 76 shutouts, and more similar to Fleury in number of starts. Losing record by 1 game in the postseason, 918 save percentage, so 5 shutouts and 68 starts in the postseason. Never won the Vezina, 3-time finalist.
I mean, he won the gold medal with Team Canada, but I mean, I don't know, man. He was kind of the goalie that never was, almost, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I wasn't a big fan of him. Probably Smokey wasn't either. If Smokey remembers back in his Vancouver days, when that was still when the Avs in Vancouver were vying for dominance of the division back then.
The Naslund days, eh?
Yep.
That was a bit before I could actually start watching the games here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I'd follow it online when I could. But yeah.
But he did have one of the best names to chant in the NHL as a goalie. Luongo was perfect for the chant.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Montreal Canadiens, Carey Price. 361 wins, 261 losses, 917 save percentage, 49 shutouts in 700 games. 8 shutouts and 89 starts in the playoffs with a 919 save percentage, and also a losing record in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with this. He was a elite goalie that he should have been a bit more greedy and asked to at least leave the team after a while. I mean, he was the one pretty much putting Montreal on the map most of the time. It was pretty much starting him and out. The teams that he was pretty much stopping goals for. I do agree with that. He was a total elite goalie. It never worked out his way.
Yeah, well, sometimes playing with the Canadiens will do that to you. Yeah, sometimes you're Patrick Waugh.
Yeah, but Patrick Waugh had 2 cups before he left.
Right. But somebody had to try to replace Waugh eventually. So, I mean, the Avs up until now, I don't know about Blackwood, but we haven't really had the elite goalie since Waugh. And we've had serviceable goalies. We've never had the elite, but that's also been kind of the game plan. We don't pay our goalies.
Yeah, and it would have been cool to see Carey Price go to the Avs. I think he would have done well there.
Yeah, that would have been funny if we had Waugh and then Price.
Yeah, I would think that would have worked for him, to be honest.
And the next one on the list, I believe is the last one on the list, Patrick Waugh of the Colorado Avalanche.
Total elite goalie.
I'm surprised that I guess it's because it's the quarter century. They're only counting what he did with the Avs. So 126 and 59, 34 ties, 920 save percentage, 20 shutouts, and 223 games, 219 starts. Ridiculous postseason record, 41 and 27 with a 922 save percentage and 11 shutouts in 68 games.
And don't forget, he gave the Red Wings a hard time, man. The Red
Yep.
Wings were playing 2 games, you know? They were playing the games against the Avs, the players, and then they have to play against Patrick Waugh, essentially, in those games, you know? And he was his own force.
And since this is the quarter century, they're only counting one of his cups and none of his Vezina wins because that they all came past the quarter century mark. So, or before the quarter century mark.
Yeah,
so
but still, like,
there's no way you keep Waugh off that list. He was,
just the one cup win does it for him, you know, on the stats.
Yeah, especially with that dominance, 41-27 in the era after he had already won all of his cups except for the 2001 one. So, I would say,
except for the part where he tried to hot dog and he forgot the puck in the crease, buddy?
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, we all know that one.
Oh, jeez. And then the Game 7 was even worse.
So I don't know who else you would put on that list for the quarter century. I mean, Hasek was before that. He didn't really do anything after the quarter century turn or after the turn of the century. So I think that's probably about as good a list as you can get of goalies that played from 2000 on. But next week,
Heavy Bulin would be before that too. I was thinking Heavy Bulin, Nikolai.
Heavy Bulin, Nabokov could have gotten close, but I mean he never won anything.
Yeah, Nikolai Heavy Bulin. There was also there's one more I was thinking of.
The only other one
I mean, you can argue Chris Osgood in some ways, but it could just be the team that was in front of him.
Well, Osgood was for one of the Red Wings ones, wasn't he? And then it went to Vernon. Osgood wasn't playing with them very long in the 2000s, right?
No, he won 2 cups with them. He won in 08 and then he won in 02. Because
was it that
Hasek
late?
Because Hasek lost his so Hasek lost his job. Oh no, he did get one, yeah. So he won in 08 where he was the goalie from the start because Hasek fucked up huge. And then
I thought Osgood was already gone by 08.
No, he was still there.
Okay. Who were you gonna say, Smokey?
The only other one I can think of maybe would be Ben Bishop.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
until he sort of fell apart towards the end of his career, but yeah.
I'm trying to think of the years on guys because I mean, the hard part is like, you know, would Belfour have been any part of this discussion, or was he just not far enough into the 2000s?
Dallas won that cup not in 2000,
I think it was
right?
2000, 99 or 2000.
I don't think it was 2000.
Right.
I think it might have been before that.
Jersey won it in 2000. I think it was 99.
Yeah, Jersey won it, and then we won it, and then I think it went back to Detroit, didn't it?
Yeah. For a while, it was like the cup was just being shared between Red Wings, Colorado, and the Devils.
And the Devils.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Devils won it in 94-95, right? And then we got Claude Lemieux from them after winning the cup. He came over to us, and we won it in the 95-96 season.
Yeah. And then the Red Wings won
I thought Dallas was in there somewhere.
Dallas is there.
They may not have been.
Between somewhere.
I'm pretty sure they're 99.
99.
Yeah,
So,
I think they were 1 year. 1 year.
Okay. So then it just would have been before the turn of the century. So.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we will do the rest of the quarter century team that has been announced. I'm not sure how many. I think they're just doing 25 players. So I've seen the way they're doing it is like guys who started playing before 2000, guys who played between 2000 and 2010, and then guys who came into the league after 2010. So it's a mix of players from different eras. So it should be interesting to talk about. But with round 3, there won't be a whole lot of games unless something crazy goes on that there's something to really talk about other than just reviewing some of the games next week. We'll probably get into the rest of the quarter century team, or at least do one segment on it each week for the next few weeks while we're trying to close out the Stanley Cup, championship. So, in the meantime, either of you guys got anything coming up?
No, nothing. I don't have my own stream, so
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sending me stuff every now and then for both the political stream and for this one. And Smokey Games with us. Smokey Games over on Ascendant Gaming quite a bit. So,
gotcha.
You can catch him over there.
Yeah,
and
I'll
as
jump onto that stream after this.
Yeah, I think they're going right now. So, if you need some place to go tonight, go check out Ascendant Gaming.
Arcade.
Ascendant Arcade. Yeah. And I might even pop over there. There is also the chance that I will continue my Expedition 33 playthrough here in a little bit. And then tomorrow morning, in not exactly 12 hours, but pretty damn close to 12 hours, I will be doing the bullpen with Little Chad where we talk about politics. So thank you all for being here. Hope everybody has a great night. Thank you guys for helping co-host tonight in the absence of Brian. I hope he has a great trip over in Banff, and congrats to your Dallas Stars, sir. We'll catch you guys later. Have a great night.
Later.